Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing great, staying safe and sane and healthy, and just everyone's getting along out there. In today's video, it's something I've been wanting to put together for a while, and basically what is going on is I have a good friend of mine, one of my subscribers, and some of you guys know her, some of you guys don't. Who I'm talking about is Mama Payday. Well, her husband recently, he's been dealing with, I'm not trying to, get too much into their business, but he's been dealing with a lot of health issues, we'll just say. And she's been kind of keeping people updated, that kind of deal. So if you guys aren't subscribed to her, then, hey, by all means, go check it out. She's been kind of keeping people updated on what's been going on. But her husband has recently, I think by the time this video comes out, he will have already gone through his surgery and lost his leg. They decided they're going to go above knee on him, and so yeah, he's a brand new, he's a day one as we call it. So so that got me thinking. I was like, I've never really put out a video of kind of what to expect and what to look for and things to be weary of, that kind of deal, as far as getting an amputation, like going through the motions, that kind of deal. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to kind of go through, not really step by step as far as like from getting your leg amputated all the way up to walking with a prosthetic. We're going to kind of cover basically getting your surgery and then getting home and kind of starting to adjust at home, that kind of deal. I think what I want to do is maybe do like a part 2 and a part 3, where we do actually talk a little bit more about, like, okay, now we're home and we can do, like, let's talk more about the mental deal of it, and that kind of deal. Like, how are we going to deal with the impact of what just happened? We'll get more into that. Things you need to focus on and work on, like as far as like exercises, that kind of deal, once you're at home. And this is pre-prosthetic, like you're still kind of got your stitches in, that kind of deal. We'll cover that, and then all the way up to boom, you got your new prosthetic. Now what you need to really focus on and what you need to work on, to really kind of get good at this is, fill in the blank. So I think that's what we're going to do, is kind of go at it at that angle. So in today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to cover just a few steps, a few, like maybe first, 10 days of being an amputee, and just kind of what all it entails, that kind of deal. So for my people that are about to have their limbs amputated, whether it be your leg, your arm, anything like that, this may be very beneficial to you if it's, a person or somebody that, you've just never even thought about it and just thought it maybe sounded interesting. Then, hey, welcome in. Now I want to kind of add like a little disclaimer and kind of put in that this is my personal experience. Okay. Again, I'm not an expert at this, but I've been through 2 different amputations. I've been through 7 different amputations in total, but I have been a below knee and an above knee. So, I'm just going off my own experience and the way that my amputations, my major amputations went, and that kind of deal. So, having said that, we're going to get into day 1. All right, so day 1, here we are. We are going to wake up super early. Note that if you're at the hospital, then, hey, great. They'll just probably come get you from your room and say, take you down or whatever, and boom, there you go. We'll get into follow step 2, but for our step 1s here, what's going to happen is you're going to have to be at the hospital super early. I'm talking like, super early being like 6 a.m., that kind of thing. They're going to take you back probably around 8-ish, something like that. It all depends on how things go for you. So again, adding an exact time to this would be virtually impossible. So we're not going to even try that. It takes hours and hours and hours just simply to get ready, get prepped, get everything. During that time, what you need to focus on, you personally, the patient getting ready to get their limb amputated, what you need to focus on is your breathing, your own comfort level, like, and when they ask you, you know, how are you feeling, that kind of thing, how you doing, you know, they're going to keep asking you this stuff, you know, how we doing, how's everything going, you doing all right, keep patting you on the chest, that kind of thing. They're there to make you feel comfortable, and please, 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 by all means, let them know, talk to them. That's what they're there for. You know, let them know, I'm scared to death, this is not good, or I'm fine, you know, whatever. Just go with your true gut feeling, talk to them, let them know what's happening, and they'll take the best care of you. They truly will. I mean, it's what they do for a living. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to get, you know, prepped and everything. You'll be in your skirt, your surgery skirt that they'll put you in. And you're going to be wheeled back there, and they're going to, you know, kind of, hi, my name's Dr. So-and-so. I'll be doing the surgery today. This is Dr. So-and-so, you know, that kind of thing. They'll just kind of introduce themselves a little bit to you. And at that point, the anesthesiology team will come in and they'll do their thing. They'll give you a mask, and you should already at that point have an IV, and they'll give you something for, like, to make you very, very just kind of drowsy. Like, you're gonna get like an instant kind of just like, whenever they'd be like, okay, here it comes, you're gonna kind of get this just like, whoa, kind of feeling that rushes over you. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's, you know, they can do anything they want at that point. And then at that point they give you the gas, which they kind of put this mask on you, and they'll say count backwards from whatever, count backwards from 20, you know, and you'll do that. And I personally have never made it to 10, so, you know, it'll be 20, 19, 18, 17, 14, you know, like you're going down, you know. And what that is just to keep you, you know, as aware as possible while you're going out. All right, so you're out, they're doing their thing. You're not gonna know what's happening, anything like that. You're gonna wake up, and for the very first day, like your day one, really, like I said before, the impact of what just happened isn't really gonna hit you. You're not gonna care about much. Again, your mind and your mental state is kind of set up like where you're just, the excitement of it all is just kind of like a big deal, and you're not really thinking about what is happening and what has happened to you. So you're basically just going to sleep that first day, and you'll pretty much be in and out. They're going to kind of want to wake you up, make sure you eat something, make sure you know, drink something, that kind of deal, pee if you need to, you know, use the bathroom, that kind of thing. And at that point, the nurses will more or less just let you go back to sleep, and you're going to sleep pretty much the rest of the day. So there's day one. Hello, and welcome to day two. Now, day two is the day that being an amputee really, really, really comes to light. This is the day that everybody and their mother absolutely hates. And again, I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that. You know, if you're in the hospital, you're going to be well taken care of, so don't stress it. But yeah, you're going to wake up, and that limb is going to be, we're just going to say, a little bit swollen. And with that swelling's going to come, it's going to hurt. So we're just going to go ahead and throw that out there. It's going to hurt. Like, and it's not an unbearable pain. Again, like I said, it's something that you can deal with, and, you know, and a good hospital, anything like that, generally any hospital is going to keep you on some type of anesthetic, or not anesthetic, but like some type of painkiller that's going to help aid in this anyway. So, you know, don't really focus too much on that. But yeah, day two, they're going to ask you, you know, can you set up for me a little bit? Maybe can you sit on the side of the bed? Let's stand up, you know. It's not necessarily physical therapy. They're trying to just more or less get you to stand up and get your body back up to an erect position, and, you know, to kind of get your other leg some exercise, that kind of stuff. What happens if you lay in a hospital bed or any bed for that long, you can get pulmonary embolisms. So that's not good. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but you guys can Google that word. So that can happen, and what they're going to try to do is kind of get you up, maybe at least 3 or 4 times a day. They're going to want you to kind of, again, sit on the side of the bed while you're eating, that kind of stuff. They're going to encourage you. You don't have to, but they're going to encourage you to set up on the side of the bed and kind of like hang your leg and your new stump off the side if you can. But like I said, if the pain's too much or anything like that, then they're not going to tell you no to laying in bed and eating dinner. They're just not going to do that. So there you go. You're going to see the surgeon, probably, the doctor that did it. They're not really going to talk too much about prosthetics or anything like that. They're going to look at everything. You're going to have a whole slew of nurses that come in periodically throughout the day that are going to come in and look at everything and make sure everything's going good. And hey, I'm Dr. So-and-so from the whatever department. Hi, I'm Dr. So-and-so from this department. So you're just going to have a whole bunch of people just coming in just like all day long. So be ready for that, because you think you're going to be just chilling watching a movie with your new swollen stump here, but no, there's going to be this right here all day long. So just be ready for that. Again, they're there for you. They're there to check on you. They're not there to pester you or anything like that. So please don't. Again, I'm just being my typical smart ass self, but but again, that's kind of more or less day 2. They're going to want to kind of, again, get you to kind of stand up a little bit. Like I said, just kind of reiterate, they're going to want to just get you to stand up a little bit, move around. What my nurse was doing to me, it was more or less like a puppy dog, where she was like standing out like 5 or 6 feet away from me, and she was just going, all right, come to me, and I was just like, I'd take my walker and I'd go to her, and she'd grab my shoulders, and she was like, all right, and she'd be like, let's go back, and like she'd like kind of walk me back to the bed and like set me down. Well, that's again, they're gonna kind of, maybe, I mean, not every hospital does it, but Vanderbilt Hospital or Vanderbilt University Hospital did it for me. They're going to want to do stuff like that. They're going to kind of want to get you up, that kind of deal. Again, it's not physical therapy. It's just more or less to get that heart pumping and get the blood circulating, that kind of deal. So there you go. Pretty much what follows that is just going to be a night of resting and, again, watching TV, chilling out, looking at Facebook, watching YouTube, that kind of deal. So moving on. Now, day 3 is, okay, look, like I was saying before, like everybody's story is going to be different, all right? Like mine, I stayed at the hospital a hell of a lot longer than, 3 or 4 days. I had a lot more underlying issues, that kind of stuff. I had blood clotting, that kind of thing. And it wasn't good. So they had a lot more things that they were looking at on me, a lot more stuff that they were monitoring. I was having to see a lot more specialists, that kind of thing. So that's more or less kind of where I stood with that. But what I do know, just from past experiences and talking to other amputees, that kind of thing, is that you're going to basically stay in the hospital anywhere from 3 to 4 days, depending on, the severity of what happened, that kind of deal. Was it scheduled? Were you brought in because of an accident? That kind of thing. It all depends. So, I mean, everybody loses their limbs for various reasons. So, again, I'm a leg amputee. I've been a below the knee and an above the knee. Both were scheduled. They weren't emergency surgeries. So people that have to deal with emergencies, I'm not sure as far as how that goes. But what I do understand just is it's a general 3 to 4 day turnaround. They try to get you out of there and transitioning back to the house, like I was saying before. So there you go. Now on that 3rd or 4th day, you're generally your last couple days there, you're going to have some visits from people like Bulow Prosthetics, like people that, you know, I go to. You'll have a couple different prosthetic people that'll come around to see you, talk to you, that kind of thing. Again, not everybody does. At the hospital I was at, we definitely did. So we had people from the Hanger Clinic come by, people from Bulow. There was a couple others in a town close to me called Hendersonville. So there's several around here in the Nashville metropolitan area, and they come by, would drop off pamphlets, talk to you, you know, hey, how's it going? You know, just let's explain to me what happened, you know, and talk to you. Super nice people. And you know, at that point you can go and do your own research on those companies, that kind of thing. Say, hey, these people got a really good reputation. People that your insurance company might kind of recommend that they use. That kind of deal. So you'll have a lot of pamphlets, a lot of options, that kind of stuff. And another person that is going to come around to see you will be physical therapy. And they're going to kind of try to look at you, see how you're doing, making sure that everything's looking good. Occupational therapists basically is what they are. And they're going to come around and make sure that, you know, again, you're looking good. Are we comfortable sending, you know, patient A home with what has just happened to them, stitched up, that kind of thing? You know, do they have a wound vac? Do they not? Do they know how to use said wound vac? Do they not? You know, that kind of thing. Have they ever changed one before? So they're going to run you through all this stuff. So it's basically just going to be a big crash course on being a new amputee for the first time. So you're going to get a lot of information. That's going to probably be a day that you're going to want your loved one to be there with you and, you know, kind of really take notes on what's happening. Because even still a little bit by day 3, you're still going to be kind of out of it. You know, you're still not quite, like I've said before, it hasn't really hit you yet. The impact of the situation, it's still not there. We'll get into that in the next video. But right now, your brain hasn't really formulated the fact that, you know, I'm an amputee. I don't have a leg anymore. Like, you're not thinking about that. You won't be thinking about that. It'll kind of, yeah, of course, you're going to look down and be like, holy crap, I'm missing a leg. Of course, everybody knows that. But I'm saying, like, the full impact of what's happening, it hasn't hit you yet until you walk into your own house. You know, and yes, I said walk. Until you go into your own home, it's not going to officially hit you yet. So don't focus so much on that right now. Don't worry about, you know, oh my God, what am I going to do? We're going to get to that. But right now, you need to listen to what they're telling you, listen to what your doctors are telling you. Trust the process, because it is definitely going to be beneficial to you, and maybe get you out of there a lot faster to where you can move on with your life, and you can, you know, learn to be an amputee, basically, you know. So there you go. So you guys, again, I'm going off my own story, everything that just I know personally, the stuff that I have done and dealt with. And you know, everybody's story is different. Everybody may have a completely different experience than me, and that's fine. But if anything helps you from this video, then hey, I'm doing my job. You know what I mean? It feels like I've truly helped you. So I hope you guys dug this video today. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you could do me a huge, massive favor, and that would be, please stay healthy, safe, sane, positive, motivated. Don't look back. Don't give a crap what anybody else says about you, because at the end of the day, it don't matter. I'll talk to you soon.